All right, folks, today I'm going to talk about this Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield EZ. I think I might have talked about this gun before, but I want to do it a little bit again because we've had some customers had questions and had a little bit of difficulty with field stripping this gun and clean it when they needed to. So I've had to run into a couple of those issues here in the last few weeks. So I'm going to do a little refresher on that, so we can maybe help clear up some confusion about how to field strip it. But anyway, to start with, this is one of the new offerings from Smith & Wesson, the M&P Shield, M&P 9 Shield EZ. That's what it's called. All right, and EZ stands for easy to operate. All right, because you have a very easy to pull back slide compared to most 9mm handguns. Makes it very easy to pull the slide back. Also easy to load the magazine. We'll show you the magazine right quick. And here again, this is a nice feature to have, especially for those folks with maybe difficulty in their hand strength. You can pull the follower down on this when you have little tabs on both sides. You'll be able to pull the follower down and put your cartridges in there without having to struggle with your thumb, for example, to push the ammo one at a time behind each other. You can pull the follower down. Makes it a little easier to load the magazine. All right. And with that, we also have a feature of this gun, the grip tab safety on the back of this thing. You have to have a grip on the gun to make it fire, which is a good safety feature, especially for folks that are going to use this gun for self-protection. Right? And even if you have kids in the house, for example, you have to have a good firm grip on it to make the gun function. All right. And as far as taking the gun down, I want to show you what there's been some difficulty with. When you pull the slide back, all right, we're going to lock the slide back into open position, like it says we have here. We're going to rotate our slide disconnect down, rotate it down. I'm going to get a finger on here, down straight, all right, like we have here. Now, when you pull the slide off, you're going to release the slide and pull it straight off the frame of the gun. Do not put your hand on the grip and depress the safety tab. That will cause a problem. All right. Once you release your slide button on the side of the frame, pull it forward and slide it off. You don't have to pull the trigger. You don't have to do any other manipulation. And what we're finding out is folks are gripping the gun like that, and when you squeeze the safety grip on the back of the frame, what happens is you're raising this transfer bar. This is the tab that pushes up on your striker safety, which is inside the frame. So you have to have that pushed up for the gun to fire. But when you do that, when you're taking the slide off, you push that up, you're having to fight against this, the safety lever is pushing up on your striker. So when you're taking the slide off, just grip the gun on the sides and don't push your grip safety, all right? That being the case, now we've got the gun opened up here. We can see all the internal components of your trigger mechanism. So you'll be able to go in here with your solvent, a little bit of maybe compressed air, and blow off the dirty part of it. And come back with a dry cloth, get your solvent off, and finally follow it up with a couple drops of synthetic lube. Is all my preference anyway. So we can keep it lubricated, make it run good. Just don't put so much in it as puddles. Right? You want to have just a light film is good enough. Right. And with your slide. All right, here's another issue we've had some customers had a problem with. Take your slide apart, push your spring forward. All right, we'll take our recoil spring off, and then our barrel, we're taking the barrel out of the frame. And with like any other semi-automatic, we're going to use a little solvent in here to help clean up some of the gunpowder residue and dirt and crud that may have been built up. We'll follow that up with a dry patch and come back in with a couple of drops of light lube on the rail tracks. All right, and any surfaces you see that have been wear from the gun cycling. Same thing with your barrel. All right, we're going to clean off the barrel feed ramp, run a patch through the barrel with some solvent, let it sit for a little while so the solvent has time to dissolve any gunpowder, lead, carbon residue, and also any copper from maybe your bullet. If you've not cleaned a gun in a long time, you may end up getting some copper or brass debris in your barrel. So clean that out good too. All right. You follow that up with a good clean dry patch. If you've been shooting a lot and not cleaning it in a while, you may have to actually use a solvent a couple times and follow that with a brass brush possibly to clean off, clean the rifling really good. And then come back and follow that up with a little bit of light oil, or leave a light film on it. Now, when we're putting this thing back together, I want to show you, this is a must for this particular firearm. You see the end cap of your recoil spring. It has flats on it. It's not completely round. Most of them are going to be round. This has flats, okay? Reason being, the way the gun is designed, that flat has to sit inside the frame in this track right here. So if you try to put the barrel back in with this recoil spring crossways, it will not fit down in the groove like it should. But you have to be careful about making it fit into the frame so that it fits easily without having to manipulate that very much. I've had a couple cases where that was an issue for the owners. So we're going to drop a barrel back in, put a recoil spring back in, paying attention to the flats, making sure that we put our spring back into the cup, the detent that is inside on the bottom lug of your barrel. And here we go. Maybe you can see that on the camera with the flats sticking straight up, okay? Whatever. How do you call that? Vertical, up and down with the frame of the gun. And that way, when we put the slide back on, if it's done correctly, you should be able to put it right on your line up on your tracks. Got your takedown lever, all right, in the down position. Line our tracks up, push it back, and again, leaving our hand off of the safety tab so we do not raise our linkage, okay, into the way. Pull it straight back, and I'm pinching the side of the frame with my fingers here so that we do not put any pressure on our safety lever. All right. So we'll push that back. What I've done here is push the slide lock so that it holds the slide back. And all I've got to do now is rotate, all right, our slide catch, or not catch, our takedown pin rather, takedown lever. So it's in the lock position now. Now we can release the slide and it's ready to go work again. All right. So anyway, I hope that helps you kind of understand a little bit of the some of the issues that have been in the last few weeks I've seen with this particular firearm. It's a cool little gun. It works very well as long as you know how to manipulate it and be cautious about taking the slide off and on when you're putting it back together. All right. So anyway, on that being the case, I also wanted to show you a couple other features about this particular firearm. You have the Picatinny rail on the bottom of it, so you can add a light or laser device if you wanted to. And also with this gun, the rear sight is adjustable from, if you take the slide off, you have a screw in the bottom of the bottom of your rear sight, so you can loosen that screw slightly and move this without having to have a press to move the rear sight. And your front sight is pushed in with a dovetail, so it's not going to be able to move very easily. But the rear sight is adjustable fairly easily with a hex key, Allen wrench on the bottom of it. But anyway, it kind of gives you, I would say, a refresher on the takedown and realignment, especially with your recoil spring and this particular model gun. Well, I hope I helped somebody out there. And if there's something else we can help you with at Maverick Gun Works, give us a call.